Climb aboard, explorers! We're off on our safari adventures today. I sure hope you brought your camera. There are so many animals out today on our safari. How many zebras do you see? Oh, look at that lioness stretching up. I wonder if she's getting ready to go on a hunt. Holy cannoli, look at that great big rhino. Oh my gosh, did you see the itty bitty little bird sitting on top? Oh my gosh, it's my most favorite animal in the world, the cheetah. I wonder what she's looking at. Wait a second, that's not a tree, that's a giraffe. Ooh, check out those warm colors in the sky. Well, the sun is setting and it's time for us to head back home. Welcome back from your safari adventures. I hope you had an amazing time and I can't wait to see photos from it. Let's start by making the sunset backdrop. You're going to use warm colored chalks, so reds, oranges, yellows, peaches, any of those warm colors. Lay one of the chalks on its side as if it was taking a nap, like a lazy cheetah, and push it all around on your paper. You want to keep these colors separate because if you mix them all together, you're going to wind up making fruit punch instead of the individual beautiful colors that we want to see today. Fill up your paper with all of the chalk colors and then use your fingers to blend the color by rubbing it on your paper. You want to touch two colors by overlapping slightly. Don't overlap the entire paper because you will make fruit punch. And we don't want fruit punch today. We want a beautiful warm colored sunset. After you blend the colors, if you find that they're not bright and bold enough for you, you may need to reapply some of the colors. When you're all done creating your sky, simply tap off any extra dust onto your messy mat and then use a tissue to wipe any extra chalk dust off of your hands. Move your background paper off to a safe place and bring in some black scrap paper so that we can begin creating our animal silhouettes. You're going to choose a safari card. I'm going to pick one here in just a minute. Let me shuffle them up so that I can choose one randomly. Flip this over to the back so I can't peek. Oh, look at me. I'm going to get to draw a tiger today. On that scrap piece of paper, using a pencil or a white colored pencil, whatever you feel like using, you can draw the outline shape of your animal. Now, I think that's going to be a little bit too small. My animal needs to be bigger, so I'm going to try a bigger piece of paper. So I'm going to try my best here to draw my tiger following the outside shape. I'm not worried about any inside details like stripes, whiskers, eyes, noses, anything like that. Just the outside shape of my animal. Now that I've completed drawing my tiger, I'm taking a look at it and I think he's a little bit too long. So I'm going to go back and make any changes. I think I'm going to shorten up the body a little bit here. Instead of wasting my time erasing, I'm just going to scribble out the mistake. And then, now that I'm happy with it, I'm going to begin cutting him out very carefully. I have to be a little careful here because it's kind of tricky for me to figure out which line is which, so I'm double checking, making sure I'm following the right line. Okay, I've got it. Here I go. I'm going to finish cutting out my tiger. Make sure to flip your animal over so you don't see any of your pencil lines. Now it's time to create the habitat for your animal. My animal lives out in the desert, so I'm going to create these tall trees that have wide canopies to help provide as much shade as possible out in the desert. There's not a lot of them, so these trees have a big job to do to provide as much shade as possible. Since I drew my tiger so big, I'm only going to have enough room for one tree in my picture. So I'm going to very carefully cut it out and then remember to flip it over so that I don't see any of my pencil lines. To be able to remove the paper between the branches, I folded the paper just enough to give it a little snip with the scissors, and then I was able to put one blade of the scissors through that snip. And now I'm starting to lay out my composition, or the way the things are arranged on my picture. I needed to turn that tree over, and I think I'm going to make it shorter by cutting off part of the bottom. My animal is still missing part of his habitat. I think he needs that tall grass so that he can be covered and camouflaged to hide from his prey while he's hunting. I'm going to use a zigzag line rather than straight lines or tight lines close together. Drawing that zigzag line will be much easier for me to cut out with my scissors. Changing the height of the zigzag line will also give the feeling of the tall grass that grows in the desert, rather than the grass that you would see in your front yard. Because I'm using scrap paper today, I didn't have enough paper to make a full line of grass, so I'm going to find another piece of scrap paper to continue my zigzag line. Ah, there it is. Now my grass line is complete, and now I can finally glue everything to my background. I'm going to start by gluing on my animal first. Remember, I'm going to put the glue on the same side as my pencil lines so that I don't see anything that I've drawn or any mistakes that I might have made, because we don't want to share that with people. I'm going to use my paintbrush as if it were my pencil and draw a contour line around the animal, just as if I was drawing my tiger all over again. After I'm done gluing down my tiger, I'll attach any of the habitat pieces that I've created, the trees and the grass, or anything else that you might have added in your safari photo today. Once you're done attaching everything, flip your paper over and check to see if there is any black paper hanging off the sides. If there is, like this little piece of grass that I have, just give it a little snip close to the white paper. Your masterpieces today show that you had a great time on your safari. Thanks for sharing them with me.